Hello everybody, my name is Jimmy and welcome back to Jimmy Does Knitting. This is my knitting podcast where I typically pick a topic, although I'm not sure that we're going to do that coming up in a couple of episodes. I think it might just be like monthly roundups or something, not quite sure. But I typically pick a topic and we go from there. So if this topic does not interest you or you have interest in other topics, you can go to my channel and see what I am talking about. Today we are going to be talking about gift knitting and my approach to that. So before you do that, you can like, subscribe. You can catch me on all the socials as Jimmy Does Knitting. Also, you can donate to my Ko-Fi. And I have links to everything. Most things maybe below. Some of these things are sort of like lost to time. So like I'm not really quite sure. But I'll try to give a comprehensive list below and you can click on the chapters if you're not interested in something. So I think that's all the admin. Before we go anywhere, let's talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Lanark by the Crea, and I have been in a mood for like brioche, half fisherman's rib. This is a DK weight pattern. It's done in drops daisy, and I will say I haven't gotten a ton of wear out of this, but it's not wearing well. Can you see this? It's just like not my favorite yarn, but I really like the pattern. And I chose Drops Daisy because it was A, affordable, but B, I didn't know if I would like this or not. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money and time on it. I think I knit this in like 8 days and I spent like 30 euros on the yarn. So I accomplished that. The only problem is I really like this. I really like it. So I need to reknit it in something else. I have my eyes on some Mota by Wool Dreamers in their sport base for a new version of this, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I do have a call for you all. I need more. I don't need. I have, if you've seen previous videos, I have 22 black sweaters just in my closet that I've knit, in addition to a couple of other ones that I've knit. So I don't need any more sweaters. However, if you have recommendations for a worsted weight brioche or half fisherman's rib pattern, I am willing to take those on. I've really been thinking about doing it. There's some yarn Bioria, maybe, by Retrosaria Rosa Pumar that I want to try out. And I just want a worsted weight, like deep rib sort of garment. I have a couple of these things in mind, but I'm not sold on anything, so pattern suggestions are very welcome. So quickly, and then we'll get to the show and tell. The way I do gift knitting is, I don't typically do gift knitting. I have talked about this before. I knit what I want, and then either I wear it or I put it in a box. That's kind of how that works. So I usually just like, how do I describe this? So I wear all black, right? I wear all black. If you've been here, you know that. There's a video about that if you want to check it out. And I like to knit with color. I like to express myself in different ways. I have designs that I do that I, do things with, or I had a period of time where I was just knitting a lot of hats on a train and I don't need like 30 hats. And so what I do is I just make these things. A lot of times they're stash busters or just maybe projects that I like. And then if I'm not going to wear it, I put it in a box. I do not typically gift knit for people. There are exceptions for that. Like I knit the Paragon earlier this year, which was a sweater by Sylvia Watts Cherry. I knew I would never wear it, but I knew my mom would wear it. So I knit it like her size, that sort of thing. Or for my Troy Boy, the basic sample that I knit, I gave it to my dad because I knew that I didn't need 2 of these, and also it was a lighter color, so like I gave that sort of thing away. Or I did some stash busting and I sent it over to my brother and sister-in-law. So like in that way, like I knit something specifically for them, but I was going to knit it anyway, and it had like a home beforehand. But otherwise, it just goes in the box. So let's show you the box. It's over there. We'll get into it. First things first, I am a liar. My gift box is now 2 boxes. I have a lot of stuff that's just there. What I typically do is if I have people over, I say like pick something from them, or if it's like Christmas time or something and somebody wants something, I tend to just do some stuff. I forgot the blankets. I'll be right back. Okay, I have the blankets. Actually, this is a lot more stuff than I thought there would be, so let's go through everything. Let's start with the blankets. Now, these are all like acrylic or acrylic mix. I used to be big into crochet. Some of these are a little bit newer, but this is not typical, but whatever. This is my most recent one. This is like fall circular mandala throw. I got this off of Yarnspirations. It's a free pattern. It's supposed to have like 8 colors, but I just did it with some Scheepjes that I had in stash, and I just knit until I was done with the yarn. I didn't finish the pattern technically, but I was done with the yarn. So it's this like circular blanket that if next person that has a baby is gonna get this. It's decorative. It's not necessarily like the best baby blanket, but that's what's going to happen with that one. I have a green crochet scrap blanket. Like I said, I used to crochet a lot, so I bought a bunch of greens and I made this chevron, like irregular chevron blanket that I really like. I think it's just a single crochet but chevrons, and then I did kind of whatever I felt. Some are like through the front post, some are through the back post, some are a little fancier than others, but in general it's just a chevron green blanket. So this is up for sale, not for sale, but for gifting. And the last blanket I have is a mosaic blanket. I was obsessed with this pattern. Also a free pattern from Yarnspirations at one point. I think it's like Nordic stripes or something. But I made this blanket out of it. I think this is really cool. It's a mosaic crochet. I was obsessed. I made like 3 or 4 of these blankets, and this is the only one left. People don't like yellow, but I really like this. So I have this one as well. So those are my crochet blankets. I don't think I mentioned this, but every year we have like a Friendsgiving. I'm American, but I live in Amsterdam, and a lot of our friends are not American. So I think it's fun to get together and like have like a typical Thanksgiving sort of meal and just like have people come together. Mr. does knitting, thinks he's Nigella Lawson sometime, and just like wants to cook a turkey and have people over. And we've been doing it for a few years now. It's always really nice. So we do that, and I bring out these boxes to hopefully clear them out. Last year it was pretty good. A lot of people took a lot of stuff. So I like to do that, and that's like a big time. So that's why I wanted to show you now. Also, I mean, this is probably too late for your gift giving time to like build up a stash because it's October now. So I'm not really quite sure if this is like practical, but this is like years of remnants and stuff. But it's a lot easier than like spending 2 months of the year knitting stuff that like you may or may not really want to knit for people just because you can. I don't really like doing that. I'm very selfish, and I'm not selling anything because the cost of this, to be like fair to myself, would be too much. So I either make you something or I give it away. I don't like being reimbursed for yarn or time or anything. It's just take it. First box. These all look like neck things. So this is first my Does Diamonds Cowl. This is a pattern by me. I have a Does Diamonds hat, which I'm sure I probably have a couple left over. This one's in Blue Sky Fibers, wool stock worsted. This is the worsted weight one. And then I made a DK weight one for all of you people that have DK weight. This is West Wool Tricycle and, no, not Tricycle, Tandem in Edam. I think it's a discontinued color, but I got this like really cheap, so I use it for a lot of things. I got like 10 skeins for like 50 euros, and I just have so much, and I just keep using it. I'm about halfway through. Anyway, so these are a design by me, and I think it's lovely. I'm obsessed with this pattern. You can see it upcoming in making, not this exact cowl, but like the motif in next year's Making Stories, I think issue 14. I have a pattern idea for myself that I want to make with it, and I have that. So obsessed. I think it's a great knit. You have to be able to read your knitting, but I have it in worsted weight and DK. So there is that. Next, I have my, what is this? Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. This was a great one. It was a quick knit. I think these are on 4.5mm needles, which is like US 7? I don't know. It's a free pattern. It's a dumb easy shawl. It's great. I really liked it. I think I did this in less than a week, and it used up some of that DK weight yellow yarn that I was using. The only thing I did different on this one is it has this garter stitch edge, and instead of the I-cord, I did an Icelandic bind off. And I tell you what, if you have garter stitch edging or anything and you want to bind off, the Icelandic bind off is the one for you. It's easy, it's a bit stretchy, and I think it, like, the way that it's done, it makes the stitches look really nice. I don't know if you can see this. I think that sort of like goes with the garter bind off. So anyway, I have this. She's a big one, but she's quick, and it's a great stash buster. So I have that. Like I said, I just make stuff because I want to. I don't know if anybody really wants this. And then the last shawl that I have is the Sugar Shawl by somebody. Lemon Kid. And what I did is I had a lot of this Holst Princess, which is the pink, and I did that with some yellow Woolyknit that I had, and it starts here, and it's like garter with simple increases, then you have this mosaic slip stitch part, and then you repeat that a couple times, and then at the very end you have the contrast color. This was easy. It's fun. I think this is also a free pattern, and I think this turned out so good. It was such a good color combo, and it used up, I think, all of the purple in my stash, which was really nice to get out. That it's like only like 2 or 3 balls, maybe? Not really quite sure. This yellow I have a whole cone of, so it's never going to end. But I really like this. This was suggested by my friend Austin. He is Damn Good Knits on Instagram, and he is a self-professed lazy knitter, and this was great. This was meant to be something that was just like an in-between project, and I finished this really quick, and it didn't last as long as I thought it would. So this is my Sugar Shawl, and we'll get into the other box. All right, more neckwear. So in general, like, I'll knit a shawl every once in a while because that's like a thing here, but if I'm gonna wear stuff, I'm gonna wear a scarf. So I tried to make more scarfy things, but I wear the scarves, and so I have more shawls in this. Anyway, the first scarf that I have, this is the Les Garcons FrostFangs, and this was their Christmas mystery box knit along, but I just brought the pattern and I used it as stash busting. So this is, the white is Holst Supersoft in Ecru, which is their undyed color. This is maybe West Wool for the black in Bicycle, and then the yellow is the Woolyknit again. And it's a really long modular scarf, so you knit one triangle at a time, meaning like, see the big triangles? You do one and then you attach the other. So it actually feels like you're going pretty quick and you're not knitting a whole lot at a time, and you can finish these triangles pretty quickly. And I was a bit, not lazy, but this is the color scheme that I wanted. So I only did 3 colors, but if you look at their actual project, it has like so many different colors, and there's so many variations of it, and I think you can really play with it. They have another one that's similar to this that's like a fade, which I think looks really nice. So they have the FrostFang is something that I can do just for whatever. whoever needs to hear this. Holst Supersoft is like 50% burrito, 50% Shetland. And so it's not going to be the softest. However, it has a ton of spinning oil. And what people don't do when they process their Holst Supersoft is they don't get rid of the spinning oil well enough. Also, it softens a little bit with wear. But I would recommend just dousing it in dish soap. Don't use like fancy whatever. Dish soap is good. It really cuts the oil out and it actually makes it quite wearable. And I wouldn't say like super soft, but to me it's next to skin soft. So that certainly helps if you find it kind of scratchy. I have a whole video about Holst and Supersoft on my channel if you want. So there is the FrostFangs. Next, I made my brother a sweater and I had some leftover yarn. So this is the Shrug, the Saturday Shrug by Jackie Rose Knits or whatever. It's just this like ribbing tube that was worsted weight on 5mm needles. She has it in different sizes. They're all free patterns, but you just kind of like slip it over like this and like put it over your shoulders. So it's like a giant cowl that you do whatever with. It's fine. I mean, this is super quick knit. It busted the rest of the stash for the project. She gives lengths. I think I just knit to whatever length the yarn used. And I did that. I'm realizing I don't have my mic and I've been filming for 20 minutes. Hopefully the sound is better. I'm sorry I took off my mic to get the boxes, but then I forgot to put it back on. Next. This is just like a seed stitch scarf that I made. When I first started knitting, I saw the herringbone stitch and I really wanted a scarf out of it. So I bought this thing from We Are Knitters. I bought this like really thick yarn that's like single ply. Do you see this? From We Are Knitters. I made a herringbone scarf. I did not like it. The whole thing with gauge, and it just was too thin. I like a thicker scarf. And I had like these 2 balls. I think it cost me just a ton of money for these things that I know are going to fray pretty badly. And they just sat in my stash. So I unraveled the scarf, the yarn sat. And I decided that since this is pretty bulky, I could knit something up pretty quick. So I just made like a seed stitch rectangle. And then I used another ball of Mayflower Maryfine to do the tassels. I used a whole black ball of that. And so now I have this like big, chunky, oversized scarf that I'll probably never wear, but I think it's pretty good. And it used up a ton of yarn from my stash. So it really made a lot of space. So that was that. Next, we have the Woven Warmth by Nancy Marchant. I did this one at the beginning of the year. It's in Tarja colorwork thing. It's pretty cool technique. She is amazing. I really like her as a person, but also her designs. And I think that this is a really cool technique, so I needed to make it, but I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of wearing color. So I wanted like an orangish, yellowy, neutral sort of thing. And I did these stripes of 3, which I think looks all right. But if I'm honest, in this pattern, I like the ones where each one was different. So like we would change color every vertical or horizontal stripe. I did not do that. So I don't know. It is what it is, but it was so much fun to make. I was addicted to it. I loved the pattern. These are all Holst Supersoft yarns. I do not remember all the colors, so do not ask me. But yes, there is the Woven Warmth by Nancy Marchant. And then this next one, I was so excited. I was going to release this as my first pattern in last September, something like that. So I worked on it over holiday in France. And I started writing it up, and then Petite Knit released the Storm Sweater, and it was almost the same motifs in almost the same order. And I I scrapped it. I scrapped it, and I'm a little bit upset about it. But this is a really nice shawl that I designed. This is all done in Brusca in their undyed colors from Retizaria Rosu Pumar. If you can't tell, I really like their yarns. And so this is just like a bunch of Ganzi motifs, and it has this like a separation of a couple of garter rows, and it's just like a rectangular scarf, not rectangular, triangular scarf. The thing that made this a little different is that you knit this triangle by itself and then picked up for the other sides. But this was really nice. It's so rustic. What I really wanted to do with this is feel like a witch that like went by and like plucked like animal hair or something from their neighbors and just kind of like kept to themselves, and then just like came out in this like giant shawl on the way back. So I mean, that's sort of the idea with this. It ended up being a storm sweater knockoff, so I didn't publish it. But I really like this. It's great yarn, and I think that this will make a warm and cozy shawl. I would love it to be like double the size, but I'm not gonna knit this again or put it out. It does have some really beautiful motifs. I really like these, but yeah. That's a no-go, but something I did that was really kind of fun. Oh, another scarf. This is the Gaka scarf by Atelier Cliché. I love this. I love a 1x1 twisted stitch. And this is Plutalopi and Drops Kid Silk mohair. And this is beautiful. I wore it a lot, but then I made another one with Plutalopi and one strand of like alpaca lace that I held with it. And so I wear that one instead of this one. The Plutalopi plus the mohair, it gets a little bit itchy if I'm honest. So I can't really put it like next to skin. I'm not so like sensitive to that, but like, I don't know. This was a little rough for me. It's great for outerwear, but no. But this is, I knit 3 of these, 2 in Manchalopi and then 2 in the Plutalopi held with a strand of something else. I really like this pattern, so I would go and check that out for this winter. It's just like 1x1 twisted stitches. It's similar in terms of like technique and feel to my Does Diamonds cowl, but it's a scarf on essentially like worsted weight. I think it's 5mm, which is US 8 needles. Anyway, I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend, this is written for unspun. If you're going to use unspun, I like to hold another strand of lace weight with my unspun. I don't necessarily like to use the unspun alone because I'm quite hard on things when I knit them. And so like it adds that little strength, and it's supposed to make it pill less. I haven't noticed any pilling with this, so maybe that's part of it. I actually did wear it a decent amount because I sit on the couch like wrapped up with these things. But yeah. So I thought that this was a really good one. As I said, I made 3. It's great. Next, oh, we still have more neck things. This one is the Lindahl Torka. This is like their small scarf version. There's so many designs in this like pattern series. It's by Wolzen, I would like to think. I used a Zauberball for the fade and then Holst Supersoft in like a red. I'm not going to say that this is like my best color combination, but I mean, it's a cute little scarf and it was so much fun to make. I think they're like, it's an expensive pattern, but they're like 4 variations to this within the pattern, and it's a lot of math. So like, it's really worth it because you can also maybe like do this in DK weight and make it a bigger one. There's like, there's also a cardigan, a sweater, mittens, socks, and anything you want in this pattern. It's really cool. I enjoyed working on it. It did take a little bit of concentration, but it was really nice. And I think it could be a great stash buster, but also using those like color change yarns I think is really fun. We're gonna do bags and then we'll do like rapid fire hats. I made this bag. It was a free pattern on Ravelry. It's a crochet one. I bought this like worsted weight linen drops yarn. I shouldn't have. I ordered it. I knew I shouldn't have, but I did. But I did it for like a summer top, and I just don't like 100% plant fibers for knitting. I just don't like it. I can't control it. They also grow a whole lot. But what they are great for is crochet. So I have this crochet bag that I made out of it, and I did this, and then I did the rest of the yarn in this. So this is a little bit bigger. It uses a little bit more yarn, which is why it changes to more solid at the top, but it's like a beach bag. So yeah, I did some beach bags of crochet out of some dropped linen worsted weight yarn. I think it was perfect for that. So that was good. It was out of my stash. On to hats. Hats, we are going to do a rapid fire. First one, this is a Leftovers We Are Knitters yarn in the color ochre. This is a top-down 2x2 rib hat that was free on the internet. I don't know what pattern this is. This is my Does Diamonds hat. This is in Gilead in the dark blue color. This is a really nice hat. I actually wear my black one that I made for myself all year, and I just think, I mean, it shows up great in this yarn. It's such a cool, do you see the top of that? I just love this pattern. I think it's fantastic. I think this is this the only one left in my stash? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I think it used less than 100 grams of yarn, so there is that. Next, I have this 2x2 ribbed beanie in some Cozy Fine in gray. These are Westwool Tandem, and this is a hat where I was experimenting with illusion knitting. I think I talked about this on a recent podcast that I posted, or it's next week maybe. But this is, I don't know the colors, pickle juice and glass. And the idea is as you move, like shapes appear. Can you see the diamonds? It's a cute hat, but I never developed this into a pattern because it works better like this, but you wear it like this. So not the best, but it was fun. I have this hat. It's by Birch from his book Modern Nordic Knits or something. This matches my Flattengenser. I did this in Holst Supersoft, in their black, in their Ecru, and I did the long version of this. It's quite a nice hat. This is the Escher beanie by Rose Knitwear, R-O-W-S. She's an Amsterdam-based designer, and she has a book, I think, that is either just coming out or has just come out, and this was a little bit of a stash buster that I thought was really nice. We have an Oslo hat in Cozy Fine. I've got a Hatch hat by Emily Green for Brooklyn Tweed in some Cozy Fine. I have this yellow hat. This might be a Hatch hat? I'm not really quite sure. I have my Dazzle camo cap, now available on Ravelry. This is my least best-selling pattern. Out of anybody, this is my worst one. I love this. It's based on the idea of Dazzle camouflage, and it is all done in Mondim. I think the color 112 and then 100, which is the natural Ecru one. And, you know, it's a fun little colorwork one. I have some really good other color combinations on my Ravelry. But Dazzle camo cap. This is another one from Birch. And this is I don't know, it's a nice design from one of his books. You can barely see this. This is in that like luminescent Woolyknit cone that I have with the Ecru from Holst. I thought this might be good for riding around in the dark because I ride my bike around. I live in Amsterdam, and you know, riding in the dark is a very real thing that I do, and this might help like me being seen because I wear all black. And when it goes, you know, dark at 3 o'clock, it's very difficult to see. So this is a good winter one. And then I have one more Oslo hat. So that all is a rummage through my gift bin. I hope this maybe inspires you to just knit a bit more freely and feel less tied down by, gift knitting and then just like have stuff ready so you plan all year and so the Christmas crunch doesn't get to you. It's kind of fun to go. Some of these projects are like 3 or 4 years old, so it's fun to go through some of the things that I've completely forgot about. I don't even know if I showed all of these on the channel. But yeah, so that is that. I hope you are doing well. There's a lot going on, so like, everybody chill. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.